Hey, Jai Sachidanand Deepakanandji.
Jai Sachidanand.
Can you do three mantra? Everybody please follow.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo
Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo
Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam. Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Savasahunam.
Eso Panchana Mukkaro.
Eso
Panchanamukkara.
Sauvapava Pranasano.
Sarvapapam Pranasano.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Mangalam Sarvesim.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havaye Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand Matmaho. Last week we left it that we'll be doing the weakness, Purusharth. Take one weakness of yours into Purusharth. Anybody has an experience?
Jai Sachidanand. This is Uma from Columbus, Ohio. Jai Sachidanand.
Welcome,
Mahatma.
Uma Ben, to
The
the Satsang.
Thank you, Deepakanandji. It's so good to see you
Jai
live,
Sachidanand.
even though it's video. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I really enjoyed last week's. I think it was. I wasn't there last week. The week before, where we were asked to find out our one defect and work on it. My worst defect is to be very reactive. If somebody says something, I take it very personally. It's as though it is being, shot at me. The me, the Uma, the ego, it's so powerful. And then instead of thinking, finding out what that person is alluding to, what that person is saying, and how to respond, I shoot back right away. No, that didn't happen. Or something like that. Or I get very defensive. So that was my defect, and I've been I've been monitoring and becoming more aware. The satsang really helped me to become aware of this, and I've been working on it. So I'm not, not quite where I want to be, but slowly I'm becoming more aware. So I'm pausing a little bit before responding and saying, oh, looking at the other person's perspective and saying, oh, this is what you meant, this is what you think. So that's a problem in our relationships for me, because it's a pretty bad trait. Yes, Satchidanand.
Deepakanandji?
Please, Satchidanand, just give me 1 minute to my glasses. I have to change. Quick, I'll just come quickly.
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, now, say Satchidanand.
Okay, Deepakanandji, we can hear Santosh Anandji. Is it possible to close the door or something?
I already closed the door.
Okay.
Okay, let me try 1 minute. Jai Satchidanand.
Okay.
I think so. Should be okay now.
Yeah, it is okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it is okay. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Umavel, what you narrated is a very common experience of someone who is not enlightened, and not that someone who is enlightened doesn't pass through this situation. Only thing is that one who is enlightened and he knows who am I, sorry, one who knows who am I, which I believe you have passed through that spiritual initiation of knowing yourself. Am I right?
Yes, I have had Gyan from
Yeah.
Dadaji.
So, yeah, perfect. So the idea is, I'll just give you an example. You got married. After marriage, did you ever have a thought that I'm still unmarried?
No.
Huh? Never.
No, I didn't have any thoughts there. I don't remember ever
Yeah.
thinking I was not married.
Right. So what I'm trying to say, the basic reason behind not having that kind of a thought was the moment you got married, you were with your husband and your in-laws, I will say, or with your husband, and you started living as a wife, fulfilling your duties as a wife. Correct?
I hope so. Yes, try to.
So now we'll take this case. There also, in the marriage, I will say during the marriage, you went around the fire, which acted as a witness, and in the presence of the divine fire, as a witness, as a great witness, you were made to accept each other as husband and wife. And that worked, and it worked effectively because you started living with your husband or your in-laws, fulfilling your duties as a wife. In the same way, here also you got enlightened as I am pure soul. It is a direct marriage with Shiva, our inner pure soul state, and your belief that I am Uma went away, got eliminated forever, and you came to know I am pure soul. The only problem, or I will not say problem, is because we have acquired this knowledge of self merely out of grace. Yes, we were religious and all that, that background was definitely there, and we were truly most worthy of acquiring this knowledge. There's no doubt about that. But we never parted or took care of our relative or worldly karmic accounts. So during the self-realization process or the initiation ceremony, what Dada did was he annihilated all your karmas that were responsible for your ignorance. But those karmas which were charged or which were caused because of ignorance, due to which Uma is there, and her interaction or her relations are there, nobody can touch that because they were caused out of doership due to ignorance. So, through the initiation ceremony, your ignorance has gone, definitely, without any doubt. And that's why you say, I am pure soul with total conviction and firm decision that I am pure soul. And you definitely have a doubtless belief that I am pure soul. But what remains is the resulting or the leftover karmic accounts or unsettled karmic accounts. When they come and play their part through the operating power of Vyavasthit, that is natural, universal, cosmic power of Vyavasthit, which is responsible for situations or circumstances of every living being, including Uma. So what happens, whether a person is enlightened or an ignorant layman, we'll say I'm a layman or an enlightened person, they both pass through identical circumstances as karmic effect, as discharging karmic effect. And they both pass through same or identical suffering. One, for a layman, that suffering he believes because he's, let's say, if his name is William, he will say, my name is William, and he believes I am William. And whatever happens as karmic effect of William, he will believe as it is happening to me. And due to this stickiness or false ownership of the karmic suffering, which is truly happening to the body self of William, he falsely believes as it is happening to me because of his ignorance. And he ends up causing new karma because of his underlying doership. Through the self-initiation process, you have realized yourself as I am pure soul. My name or body self name is Uma, and it is Vyavastit power, that is natural cosmic power of Vyavastit, which is operating Uma. But for that person, William, he doesn't know this.
Yeah.
And you also know that you are separate from Uma as I am pure soul. So for you, being realize yourself as pure soul, and your primary function as pure soul is to perceive what is happening or what happens to Uma in her life circumstances that gets unfolded through the natural cosmic power of Vyavasthi. And the end result of every situation, you name the situation, it is suffering. And what is that suffering? It is either liking type or disliking type. And one who is not realized gets carried away by this liking and disliking, and he ends up causing new karma through his attachment and hatred, which is called raga and dvesha. But for you, as self-realized person, knowing yourself as you are pure soul, as I am pure soul, you perceive what Uma passes through in her life circumstances as outcome of her past karmas happening through the natural power, cosmic power of Vyavasthit. And you perceive what Uma passes through the suffering as karmic effect. So the natural reaction of every ego, now you have ego, but it is discharging ego. Discharging ego, everyone have. For a layman also it is there, and for an enlightened person, for a self-realized person also is there. But for one who is, for a layman, he also says, I didn't like, oh, I like this. So this duality of liking and disliking is happening, or it happens to a layman also. But because of his ignorance, he believes that I didn't like or I liked. And he doesn't have this separation. He believes that I am William. So due to this, and doesn't know that karmic effects are through the natural power of Vyavasthit. And it is like a very, I'll say, unfortunate that all our karmic effects, they get affected through living individuals. Nothing drops from sky like. So for all your discharging karmas, there is some individual who becomes party, or who becomes instrument, or you call it nimit for your suffering, whether it is liking type or disliking type. But for you as a realized person, you come to know that natural power of cosmic power of Vyavasthit is operating through that individual who is becoming instrument for your suffering. You will realize that because you have been given, because you have acquired this vision out of grace, not out of your self-efforts. It was mandatory for Dada to give you the 5 agnas, and through these 5 agnas, viewing your life circumstances and suffering through the 5 agnas, what is going to happen is, let us say, Uma comes across a situation where she was confronted and she was insulted. Here, like if I'm a separate person, I'm with you, and I see you as Uma coming across such a circumstances and you were insulted very badly and you passed through that suffering. For me, I know that it is happening to Uma, not to me, because I am a separate entity, physical entity. In the same way, you, after self-realization, you have got separated as I am pure soul, with a sole function of perceiving what is happening to Uma, physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, intellectually, everything.
Beautiful.
But because we are not used to perceiving our body self separate from our pure soul self as who you are, it's like you to practice. Like how I see you being there with you, I see you passing through such situation and such suffering. I come to know it is happening to Uma, not to me. But as much I am attached to you as Uma, it is going to affect me. In the same way, as much you are connected with this leftover ownership of Uma, and that minus, that ownership factor affects you as pure soul separated from body self, Uma. And what is happening, although you have realized I am pure soul, but you have not become pure soul, 100%. It is an intermediate state because you have to get away with the leftover karmas of Uma. Who will settle those karmas, handle those karmas? Because it is of Uma. You tell, what's Radhesh's brother's name, I forgot. What's his name?
Whose name? Anand
Uma.
Sai?
Anand, Anand.
Anand.
Anand, yes, Anand. You say, Anand, why don't you handle that? He says, I have to handle Anand's problems. I can help you. But finally, you have to manage. So, the situation is like this, that anything that Uma comes across, it is part of her karmas. Those karmas have no relevance with you as pure soul who got separated from body self of Uma. So for every happiness or unhappiness of Uma, it is Uma's happiness and unhappiness. You as a separate entity, enlightened state, as I am pure soul, simply perceive what Uma passes through these bouts of happiness and unhappiness. But that, it's like you have to practice that in the initial stage. And like Dada, out of his total experience state, many things happen in his life, but he remained separate and he pursued what happened to A.M. Patel.
Yes.
Do you understand?
You very much. Thank you so much. That's beautifully.
And
It went right.
these egoistic reactions that come to Uma is Uma's only.
Yes.
Because she is driven by light of intellect. And intellect is light of pure soul through the medium of egoism. So that light of intellect will always protect ego. It will not favor or protect your pure soul. So it will always say or identify, recognize Uma innocent and all others at fault. But when this situation of Uma is analyzed and viewed in the light of pure soul, you will perceive that it is due to Uma's karmic account. Other people come across Uma through the natural power of Vyavasthit, cosmic power of Vyavasthit, and Uma has to pass through the suffering. And when that happens, you will always be with Uma as your first neighbor and always pacify her with the right understanding, which, if you don't intervene, intellect is bound to guide, or I'll say misguide Uma with egoistic understanding, and for which Uma will feel a lot. And apart from that, she will never have any consolation or solace or peace because of ignorant understanding, believing others at fault, not Uma as a. Because without Uma's causes, nothing can come in her life as an effect.
I
Correct?
understand that. Thank you so much. Really, very beautifully. It made very clear understanding. Thank you, and I will practice. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
And also, this practice is not like I practice cycling and all that. It is using your third eye. We have been used to using these eyes which are under influence of intellect. And we view, see, believe, and accept what is seen and believed and understood by these eyes. But now, when the third eye, Shiva eye, is open through this initiation ceremony, we have to learn to view through the third eye. And when you view through the third eye, you will know that you are separate. It is happening to Uma, and you will be with Uma as the best neighbor and pacify her and balance her in every situation where otherwise, if you don't intervene, intellect will disturb Uma. Jai Satchidanand.
Thank you. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Very good. Kashok Bhai.
Everyone, Jai Satchidanand, Rajniti, Jai Satchidanand, Deepakanandji. Ji. Can I ask one or two doubts about the Dadavani?
Yeah.
Fine, no problem.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. So, one minute. This one.
You give reference of the Dadavani also, huh? Please.
Yeah, I will give 1 minute. Yeah, this is the English August 2020 Dadavani, August 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that in the state of pure soul, there are no
Page.
worries.
What is the page? What is the page number?
Page number 6.
Fine. Okay. Good.
In the state
If
of
someone
pure,
want to refer to, they can always go through it. Right. Okay. Now.
there are no worries, only samadhi. Here, Dadasri is telling that you should be very cautious. The tension can actually destroy you. You have received this Gyan, knowledge of the self, even that would disappear, then there would be not another opportunity. Please throw light on this.
Okay. The purpose of such a caution is that because you have received this knowledge, you got initiated into self-realization merely out of grace. So it is as a word of caution only, so that you will use the third eye vision to analyze, understand, and accept whatever happens to Dr. Kashyap. It should not be misunderstood as you will lose this knowledge forever. Do you understand that? So it's like when you want to caution your child, you'll say, if you do this, you will die. So it's like then you will be very vigilant and remain cautious handling situations. You understand?
Okay. And one
Doctor?
more, yeah, I understood. It's clear.
Yeah.
One
Fine.
more I would
Okay.
like to ask. On page 9, it's a physical suffering is a result of harassing others.
Physical suffering is result of
harassing others.
what? Doing what? Harassing
Harassing.
others.
Harassing.
Harassing.
Ah, okay, fine. Harassing others. Ah, right. Okay, fine.
Yeah. So here Dada Shri is saying that these doctors dissect frogs and the repercussion of that will come on their own body. Whatever you are doing, you will receive the repercussion of that. These are all repercussions. Please throw light on this.
So, no, what does it mean? See, when doctors study medicine, then in that initial stages, when they learn about body and body parts and all those things, then they dissect frogs also. And these frogs are not killed. They are like, I will say that, okay, in a way, directly or indirectly, they are killed by them. These frogs, because certain things, they are like, how do you say, they are just given anesthesia. So the whole body is working, but they are not in their senses and they are cut. So they will see the heart pumping and blood flowing and all those things when they dissect the frog. The idea is to understand body and body functions. They have to dissect living frogs who are through their given chloroform, something like that, which will a kind of anesthesia which will make the body numb. But whatever, the frog eventually dies. They don't put the stitches back and make the frog normal again. So the idea is, although you are using these animals to understand body functions, human body functions, and these living beings or animals are killed. But because you are instrumental for your purpose, you're doing it, so that suffering which is caused to the animals because of your instrumental requirement of learning medicine, it will reflect onto you. Do you understand?
So what is the solution for those who have done? I have done like. And
The only solution is, say, it's like to acquire more, you have to lose less. So in the sense, you definitely lose or you definitely cause a loss as karmic loss as part of your studying medicine, like say 10%. But 90%, you get the rest of the 90% knowledge of medicine, for which or with which you will take care of sick people and fix them. So it's like you lose 10%, you gain 90%. So the karmic effects are such, you can't get away with the 10% because you have earned 90%. But you will have to pass through the suffering for the wrong you have done in that 10%, and you will get the benefit of 90% for the good thing you are doing for people. And if you want to get away with this 10% loss, they must ask for forgiveness. That although for good they have, killed these animals, so he or the person will get freed from that effect. Do you understand?
Yeah, basically the loss will come in the next birth, right?
Whether
As
it comes in any birth, you are clearing your karmic debt.
yeah, if this is not
Whatever
clear,
loss you have incurred,
yeah, the
whether
loss
it
is
is
that,
cleared in this life, fine, but you have corrected your mistake.
yeah,
That is important.
what I'm saying is that if say someone doesn't clear the loss, by forgiveness, so the loss will come in the next birth, right?
No, whatever is done physically,
Mm,
you understand, it is a physical pain you are giving, which anybody can see
mm,
and know.
mm,
Then that suffering will come in the same life.
the same line.
But
Okay.
whatever feeling is there at the mental level, at the mind level, will come in the next life. That because whatever it's like, let me give you one very good point has come here. Although doctors, while they study, they have to cut this and kill animals. So physically they are doing wrong. But if mentally they are repenting at that same moment, then see, when I'm doing something, then mentally also I am in favor of doing that wrong.
Mm,
Only then I can do anything physically outside wrong. So anyway, they will have to do that wrong outside, which will cause as physical karma and physical karmic effect. And that which happens at the mental level or mind level, which will get reflected in the future life, is called subtle karma. So
okay.
on the subtle part, if he repents, even in this life, then it will not get carried forward in the next life. But the effects, whatever he has done in this life, will come and finish in this life. Do you understand?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's clear. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sachidan.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Okay, so
No,
yeah,
there's
we last week we had to postpone your experience. So if you can
yeah, that's
remember,
fine. Actually, no, that was just one experience I just wanted to share. It's not a big one, but yesterday I was just sweeping my floor and I saw that there were few ants. If I sweep the floor, that those ants will get killed. But anyway, sweeping is necessary. So how can I just put Nyan in this situation? But I just realized that in the last question.
Yeah, correct. That's true. So it's like it's your home and you need to keep your home neat and tidy. So you will definitely have to sweep and keep your home clean. But then, even after doing that, if you ask for forgiveness, because when you are doing an act, again, your mind is in favor of that act.
Correct.
Without your signature, that act will not happen, that action will not happen. So, yes, you will have to do that. But at that same moment itself, you say inside, ask for forgiveness that if the ants don't come here, I don't have to sweep this floor and incur these laws or hurt them. So, when you repent like that, then what will happen? They will stop coming to your place
Right.
because they are not coming to you or to your home out of nothing.
So
In the sense that natural cosmic power of Vyavasthit is guiding these ants because their end has come.
right.
Their end has come, so they will naturally come to one who is going to, commit that act and with which they will die.
Okay. Hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah. So can I pray Dada
But
that
when you ask for forgiveness, that situation will come in your life wherein you will not have to sweep the floor.
correct? Yeah. Yeah.
One more thing, what Dada has said, in these, what do you say, all these countries, other countries, I mean the Western countries,
Yeah.
they have to keep their surrounding, backyard, front area, where lawn is there,
Yeah, we need to keep
landscaping is there. They have to keep it up to date. For which they have to mow the lawn, they have to cut the trees, shape them, and all that. So for that, I mean, this is a very good clarity given by Dada Bhagwan. He said, just to save few dollars, some money, you will do it yourself. But when you do it yourself, you incur a bigger loss. But if you get it done by paying the person, then that loss reduces drastically. But then you'll have to part with your dollars. And this you're not cheating. By giving that order to someone and he will do, that person will do, or that organization will do, because they want to earn money and you're not doing anything wrong. But you are reducing the level of loss by ordering it to someone else, giving that job to someone else. Do you understand?
Yeah, but indirectly we will be involved in that cause, right?
See, so it's like our lifestyle and our life itself is such, you are bound to commit these losses. It is a kind of, you can say, a karmic effect, because our belief is such, you have to do this, we must do this, that, and keep neat and clean and all that stuff. So that's fine. You have that belief, you will do that, but in the background, when you are asking for forgiveness, repenting for all those acts, then that belief itself will go. Finally, you will come across a situation wherein you will not have to do that.
Yeah. So
Srimad Rajchandraji, a self-realized person who came before Dada Bhagwan, he had said that home, I mean, where we live, it is such a place, it is full of carbon. Carbon means if you put your hand inside and you take it out, you will have the carbon on your hand. So what it means, householder life is such that they will end up causing new karmas irrespective of what they do. But at the same time, if they are using this principle of forgiveness called Pratikraman, then it will help them come out of that. It will help them eliminate those losses which they are incurring through that householder life. Do you understand? And they will progress.
yeah, if we ask for forgiveness, do they carry forward to the next life?
Again, whatever you have done physically, the effect of those, it is called physical karmas. The effect of those physical mistakes or losses, you will incur in the same life, in this life itself. But anything you do, you always have that mental acceptance or mental endorsement. So what you are doing, you will do physically. Outside you will be doing it because it is part of your discharging karma. And so you also have your mental belief also, which causes subtle karma, which gets affected in future lives, for which you are doing Pratikraman, for which you are asking for forgiveness. So that clears your subtle part. The gross part, which is done as action, the effect of that will come in this life and you get away, you are done with it. But you are not carrying it forward in a subtle way. Perfect science of the absolutes with ragas.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah. So yesterday I just asked for forgiveness that I don't want to do this work. Please forgive me.
Correct.
It's not. I don't have
so
any.
it's like the correct. So what will happen? those ants will stop coming to your place.
Right.
Understand?
Yeah.
That's what.
Jai Sachidanand.
You want to
Yes,
share your
Sachidanand.
experience if you remember? No?
So actually, in Canada, I work some days for the as a pizza delivery guy for, and some customers they don't tip here sometimes. So I say in my mind that these people are not actually doers. That's your own karmas that your own belief of previous life. It's giving the output. So don't see those people as a doer. They are just nimit.
Good, very good. So it is like that only. There are people, sometimes you come across someone who tip you lavishly.
Yes.
And it's like, why they are tipping you lavishly? Because it's like they have so much with them. And you just little care, you take care of them. And they are very happy, overwhelmed with that service. And they end up giving you a big tip. And for them, that big tip is not a big one. But for you, it is enormous. But for them, it is nothing. Do you understand? So it
Yes.
happens. It happens. So it's like in every service places, you must ensure that you play your part nicely. It's very important. And then
Yeah, that's
not with
correct.
an intention that they will tip you, but with an intention it is part of your job. In
Correct. Yeah.
fact, in all our dealings, we must have that factor of humility. And that
Correct.
factor of humility will always protect you and free you from that obligation. Any level of arrogance will be a loss.
Right.
Right? Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Okay, Krishna, your name came up for sharing something. If you have any.
So far today I had experience
Oh,
like
good.
one of the client they sent the email 6 weeks ago, and it wasn't in my email, it was in my owner's email address. And then she call and say, Krishna, why it's not done yet? It's been 6 weeks. I say, we didn't receive the email, special in the payroll. If I have it, I will finish it. All the mails are clear. She said, no, it's send it. I say, okay, let me check. So I checked, there wasn't any email. Then I'll notify to her that I don't have the email. Please forward it to me. Then she checked and she forwarded it to me. And I see that they sent the email 26th of February to get it done the T4As. And it was our mistake. Then on top she's saying, call her and find out what she wants to do. I say, okay. Inside I know that it's not Krishna's fault. Still Krishna has to listen. It's okay, whatever. And I knew that client gonna get upset that why we take this much long. So anyways, I just pray to Dada and say, okay, let's see whatever happening is that. And then I call her and she say, I want to know what is the reason why it takes 6 weeks to clear this out. Who gonna pay the penalty? Then I didn't respond back about the penalty, but I say, sorry, I didn't receive the email till now. I just receive it now. That's why I'm calling you. I just specify me what you want to get it done. I will send you within a half hour. So she specify me that all the stuff, and then I say, still you have the 2 persons income. It's showing the January and February for this current year. I don't want that. Can you please take out the amount or let me know how much it is? I will deduct whatever amount you provide me. She was upset. She don't want to say anything, but she still give it to me. And within a 20 minutes, I respond her back. Then after a couple hours later, she called me and said, okay, Krishna, I have another company, but I don't know how to pay the income remittances on the CRA. I say, did you give us the access? Does we have that company? She said, no, you don't have it, that company. I prepare the payroll for my end on the QuickBook, and I do everything myself. So I just talk with her for a while and I say, okay, yeah, I can help you on that. But next time, if you want to resolve this all problem, you can give it to us, the payroll or business, then we can go through it. So first my boss thought that they're not gonna pay the fees what we getting work done. So she said ask her to pay. I said no, I'm not asking because it was our mistake. But then when I was leaving the work, I notify her that she might gonna come with us with the second company. Then she said, what did you do? I said, nothing. I just talk with her regarding her second company. Forget about the first company. Okay, oh, good job, Krishna. So that's what it is happened. Today is the whole case.
Very good. First thing, you are working for a company. So you must attempt to save the face and so the company is not at loss, number one.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have your personal instrumental part also, which you played very nicely. By dealing with her nicely and handled things very amicably. That was perfect. Very good. So this is how we must play our part, although it is company's responsibility. So if anything is going to happen, it is going to happen to the company. But because you are part of the company and you are also an individual. So on the individual part, you played your part very nicely, amicably, fantastic, due to which she had that confidence and you put your case that, sorry, we didn't get that email on time, although you had sent, it was missed and it was overlooked, for which we are sorry. But then, because the way you dealt and also the 5 agnas, what we have got from Dada Bhagwan, they are not just words. They are means or method how you will deal in your life as karmic effects in an amicable way. Otherwise, we are always preoccupied with belief that if someone does like that, I'm going to do it like this. What does it or she thinks of herself or himself like that? We are already made up our mind like that. But here we are not doing that. We are sticking on to Dada Ragnas, his precepts, which says anything that happens is part of the natural cosmic power of Vyavasthit, which is perfect, and you must handle this file, this interaction in a perfect, amicable way so that the person is not hurt. So this itself will change your mind, speech, body. It will have the effect on the other person, the receiving end, mind, speech, body, and everything will happen in an amicable way, naturally. But the fact that took or that played its part was your decision to handle the interaction in an amicable way. You decided to handle the person in an amicable way. So this itself is life science. What you decide, what you feel inside is going to reflect onto other person's mind also. If you are aggressive, then that is going to reach the other person and it will create a chaos only. Very good,
Yeah.
well done. And see, the outcome was you got another job,
Yes.
another order. So that's good. And because your boss doesn't have to do things.
Yeah.
It's like she has to get things done through
Yes.
you. So she will
Correct.
always order you, okay, do this, do that. Although at times it is her mistake, But you don't have to see that as her mistake. You are part of the company, so you take it to yourself as, because you are now talking to the person, the client, and as a company,
Yes.
not as individual as Krishna. But you are also an individual and you have played your part as an individual. Perfect.
Mm.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Siddha, very
Wonderful.
good, thank you. Now, Mahatmas, we had embarked on looking at our uh, weaknesses, and we've been dwelling for last 2 weeks. Any other topics or anything we want to take, Mahatmas, Deepakanandji?
See, first thing is our outsider gross interactions at the physical level. Then, we can switch over to the mental level also on the subtle part, that is on the gross part and the subtle part, because in any interaction, it is our mind that is playing a role behind the curtain. It never comes forward. It is always working in background, behind the curtains. And it is our mind that creates all the mess. And that mental agitation gets reflected in our interaction outside. So
So Deepakanandji, why
if we
don't we
become
just,
vigilant at our mind level,
Deepakanandji, why don't we take, since you're talking about the mind, Sukshma, why
yeah,
don't we take Purusharth we are doing in the other sessions? So that would be good.
yeah. So mental level is like, see, interaction is always there between individuals. And two individuals or more, they all have come from different past experiences, past karmic effects. But now they are together. We cannot expect them to believe same. So everyone will have their own opinion, their own understanding and belief. But you are handling a situation now, you are together. So how will you handle that situation? If you stick on to your belief only and harp on that, it is going to create a lot of problems. So again, with Dada's precepts, agnas, when we handle that thing with that inner conviction and decision, resolution that whatever happens, I will handle this dealing in an amicable way. Dada give me that inner strength. So just contemplating these precepts in our mind, how it will change, we will be able to adjust the other person, accept the other person's viewpoint, we will be able to adjust with the other person's viewpoint and still remain in the center, keep perceiving what is happening. So you will know where you are going wrong and you will keep correcting yourself. Eventually that dealing will become very amicable and you pass that karma without any effect or without hurting anyone. So that will be a great achievement, but it's a process. It's a process and we have to do a live practical. And that's how it will be good. So let us switch on to both, that is gross and subtle both, because they are all together. But we evaluated or analyzed the gross outside dealing only. But now when we switch on to the inner, that is subtle part at the mind level, then we will come to, at times, we manipulate people. Just doing nothing, they just come in our mind, knock our doors at our mind level and they say, hi, how are you? I said, hey, out of the blue, why you are coming in my mind? But there is some liking or disliking, or some hatred is always there. Only then they can come and knock your door. So we come to know that, okay, you need to clear these karmic accounts also. So that's how we cleanse ourselves on the grosser part. Then we switch on to the subtle part. At the grosser part, there are differences. At the same time, we have clashes at the gross level. Same way, you have differences at the subtle level, mind level, and you have clashes there. What do you mean by clashes? You don't want to bend, you don't want to accept, you don't want to adjust. Then these will definitely give rise to clashes. And clashes means someone is going to get hurt. And someone gets hurt from here, then it's going to come back here for settlement. So for our own happiness, we have to learn to handle all our dealings in an amicable, healthy, loving way. Shri Satchidanand.
So, just to put it in simply, we're going to look at our interaction with others at the subtle level, mind level.
Right. Perfect, absolutely.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay. So, Deepakanandji, can you do it in one thought? Everybody, please follow.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo
Namo
Vitraya.
Vitraya.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo
Namo
Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo
Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Vatsayanam.
Namo Loe Sauva Sahunam.
Namo
Namo
Eso Panchana Mukkaro.
Eso Panchanamukkaro.
Sauva Pava Pranasano.
Sarvapāvapanāsanam.
Mangalanam cha Sauvesim.
Sarvesim.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Padam
Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.